Imagine this. You wake up early every morning, you go to work, put in the hours, deal with deadlines, stress, and responsibilities. Every month, a paycheck hits your bank account. You try to be responsible with money. You don't spend recklessly. You save when you can. Maybe you've even started investing because everyone says that's the key to building wealth. And yet, years go by and something feels off. Your income is higher than it was 5 years ago, but your financial life doesn't feel dramatically different. You still think carefully before making major purchases. Unexpected expenses still create stress. Financial freedom still feels like something that's always just out of reach. Meanwhile, you see people online talking about investing, wealth building, and financial success as if it's easy. Some seem to be getting ahead much faster than you are. So naturally, you start asking yourself, what am I doing wrong? Here's the thing. Most people assume that getting rich is about making more money. They believe the solution is a bigger salary, a better job, or a side hustle. But if that were true, every high-income earner would be wealthy. They're not. The reality is that building wealth has less to do with how much money you make and far more to do with what happens after you earn it. And once you understand this one critical skill, you'll start seeing money completely differently. My name is Demas, and I spend way too much time thinking about money. If you're someone who feels stuck financially, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Now, let's talk about something that completely changed the way I think about wealth. Most people believe that financial success comes down to one thing. Some think it's investing. Others think it's earning a higher income. Some believe saving money is the answer, while others focus on starting a business. And honestly, all of those things can help. But here's what most people don't realize. None of them automatically make you wealthy. You've probably met people who earn a lot of money but somehow always seem stressed about finances. You've probably also met people with average incomes who seem surprisingly secure and comfortable. Why does that happen? Because wealth isn't just about how much money comes in. It's about what happens after the money arrives. Every paycheck creates a series of decisions. Spend it, save it, invest it, use it to pay down debt, build a business, learn a new skill. The people who build wealth consistently aren't necessarily the ones earning the most. They're often the ones making better decisions with every dollar they earn. And understanding that difference changes everything. Look, most financial advice sounds incredibly simple. Pay off your debt. Save more money. Invest consistently. Spend less than you earn. And on the surface, that's good advice. In fact, it's advice you've probably heard hundreds of times from financial experts, friends, family members, and even social media influencers. The problem is that real life is rarely that simple. Imagine two people receiving the exact same advice. One follows it and builds wealth. The other follows it and still struggles financially. How is that possible? Because personal finance isn't just about following rules. It's about understanding priorities. Let's say you have $5,000 sitting in savings. At the same time, you have credit card debt charging over 20% interest, student loans, monthly bills, and a retirement account that you're trying to grow. Where should your next dollar go? Should you invest it? Should you save it? Should you pay off debt? This is where most people get stuck. They become so focused on doing something financially responsible that they forget to ask a more important question. Is this the best use of my money right now? Here's the thing. Building wealth isn't about making perfect decisions. It's about making the highest value decision available to you at any given moment. And that small shift in thinking can completely transform your financial future. Let's take emotions out of the equation for a moment and look at the numbers. Because money doesn't care how we feel. It only responds to math. Imagine you have $10,000 available today. Most people immediately think about investing it. After all, we've all heard that investing is the key to building wealth. So let's assume you put that $10,000 into a diversified investment portfolio, earning an average annual return of 8%. After 1 year, you've made about $800. That's not bad at all. But now let's consider another scenario. Imagine you're carrying credit card debt with an interest rate of 22%. Instead of investing the money, you use the entire $10,000 to eliminate that debt. What happens? You instantly avoid paying roughly $2,200 in interest over the next year. Think about that. One choice earns you around $800. The other effectively saves you $2,200. That's nearly 3 times more valuable. This is where it gets really interesting. Many people feel productive because they're investing every month. But at the same time, they're losing money to high-interest debt. They're celebrating gains on one side while ignoring losses on the other. It's like trying to fill a bathtub while the drain is wide open. The water may be flowing in, but a large portion is disappearing just as fast. Wealth isn't built by focusing only on growth. It's built by first eliminating the financial leaks that quietly hold you back. Now you might be thinking, if the math is so obvious, why don't more people make the right financial decisions? The answer is surprisingly simple. Because money is not just a numbers game, it's a psychology game. Every day, people make financial decisions based on emotions, habits, fears, and impulses rather than logic. And most of the time, they don't even realize they're doing it. One of the most powerful psychological forces is something called loss aversion. Researchers have found that losing money feels significantly more painful than gaining the same amount feels rewarding. Think about investing for a moment. When your portfolio goes up by $1,000, you're happy. But if it drops by $1,000, that feeling of disappointment is often much stronger. That's why many investors panic during market downturns. They sell at exactly the wrong time because they're trying to escape emotional discomfort. Then there's instant gratification. Your brain is wired to seek rewards now, not years from now. Buying a new phone today feels exciting. Ordering something online delivers a quick burst of happiness. Saving and investing, on the other hand, often feel boring because the rewards are delayed. Here's what most people don't realize. The biggest financial battle isn't against inflation, debt, or even a lack of income. It's against your own impulses. Wealth is often the result of repeatedly choosing what is beneficial in the future over what feels good in the moment. And the people who master that skill gain an enormous advantage over those who don't. One of the biggest financial myths in the world is the belief that more income automatically leads to more wealth. At first, that sounds completely reasonable. After all, if you're earning more money, you should have more money left over, right? Not necessarily. In reality, countless people receive raises, promotions, and higher-paying jobs, yet their financial situation barely improves. As their income increases, their lifestyle quietly expands right alongside it. A nicer apartment, a newer car, more expensive vacations, premium subscriptions, better restaurants. None of these purchases seem dangerous on their own. In fact, many of them feel deserved after years of hard work. But over time, they create a hidden problem known as lifestyle inflation. Here's an analogy. Imagine your income is water flowing into a bucket. Most people spend all their energy trying to increase the flow of water. But if the hole at the bottom of the bucket keeps getting larger, the bucket never fills. That's exactly what happens when spending rises as fast as income. Look, there is nothing wrong with enjoying your money. The problem begins when every raise is immediately consumed instead of invested. This is why some people earning $60,000 a year quietly build substantial wealth, while others making 4 times that amount still feel financially trapped. Income matters, but what truly determines your future is the gap between what you earn and what you keep. And that gap is where wealth is built. This is where the conversation starts to separate people who look wealthy from people who actually become wealthy. Most people evaluate purchases with a very simple question. Can I afford it? At first, that seems like a responsible way to think about money. But wealthy people often ask a completely different question. What is this costing me in future wealth? That small shift in perspective changes everything. Imagine you're considering a $20,000 purchase. Maybe it's a car upgrade, a luxury vacation, or something you've convinced yourself you deserve after years of hard work. Most people see the price tag and think, I have enough money in my account so I can afford it. But here's what most people don't realize. Money isn't just what it is today. Money is also what it could become tomorrow. If that same $20,000 were invested and earned an average return of 8% per year, it could grow to more than $200,000 over the course of 3 decades. Suddenly, that purchase isn't just costing you $20,000. It's potentially costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in future opportunities. This concept is called opportunity cost. Every dollar you spend has a hidden alternative. Once you use it for one purpose, it can no longer be used for another. Wealthy people understand this deeply. They don't just see money as something to spend. They see it as a tool that can create more options, more freedom, and more financial security in the future. And once you begin thinking this way, your financial decisions become far more intentional. Here's something most people never hear when they're learning about money. Wealth is rarely the result of a single brilliant decision. It's usually the result of a simple system repeated consistently over a very long period of time. Look, most people are searching for the perfect investment, the next big opportunity, or some hidden strategy that will suddenly transform their financial future. But in reality, wealth is often much less exciting than that. It starts with eliminating high-interest debt so your money stops working against you. Then it continues by building an emergency fund that protects you from unexpected setbacks. After that, investing becomes a habit rather than an occasional decision. Money automatically flows into assets month after month, regardless of how you feel or what the headlines are saying. This is where it gets really interesting. Successful investors don't win because they predict the future perfectly. They win because they stay consistent when other people become distracted, emotional, or impatient. At the same time, they continuously improve their earning power. They learn new skills, seek better opportunities, and create additional sources of income. Over time, these small actions begin stacking on top of each other. Debt decreases, investments grow, income rises, assets compound, and eventually, what once felt like slow progress turns into meaningful wealth. Not because of one extraordinary choice, but because of hundreds of ordinary choices made consistently over many years. Look, most people spend their entire lives believing that wealth is something reserved for a lucky few. They assume rich people must have started with more advantages, earned extraordinary incomes, or discovered some secret strategy that everyone else missed. But when you study how wealth is actually built, a different picture begins to emerge. The truth is that money follows behavior far more often than it follows intelligence. Every paycheck you receive represents a choice between consumption and investment, a choice between short-term satisfaction and long-term freedom. A choice between reacting emotionally and acting intentionally. Here's the thing. Every dollar you earn is like an employee working for you. You can send that employee out to buy things that lose value the moment you purchase them. Or you can send that employee to acquire assets that continue generating value for years to come. The wealthy understand this simple principle. They don't expect money to change their lives overnight. Instead, they focus on giving every dollar a job and allowing time to do the heavy lifting. Because wealth is not built in a single day, month, or even year. It's built through thousands of decisions that may seem small on their own, but become powerful when repeated consistently. And that's the real lesson. The goal isn't simply to make more money. The goal is to become the kind of person who knows how to direct money toward its highest purpose. Master that skill and you won't just earn more. You'll build freedom, create opportunities, and develop lasting wealth that continues working for you long into the future.